Welcome to episode 134 of Enhancing Human Experience. I'm Mark Phillips. I'm so thrilled that you tuned in today. I have an amazing guest lined up for you. I know you're going to enjoy it. I know you're going to be inspired. Really can't wait to share this person with you. His name is Samuel Figueroa, and he's a somewhat new friend of mine. I met him through Ruth Romero, our mutual friend. Ruth has been on the podcast before. She's the personal style consultant, image consultant, and she shared a lot of great value with us. I'll link that episode down below here in the show notes at gmarkphillips.com in Sam's interview episode. But when I first met Sam and heard him talk about his story of, where he was in a place that is very different from where he is now, right? He talks about living in mediocrity, and even so much so that he didn't even understand what that word meant. And at the time didn't care to go look it up. And so as I heard him talk about his story and his journey that he's been on thus far, I was actually moved. I was inspired and moved. I invited him to be a guest on the podcast to share his experience with us because I know it'll be valuable to you on your journey. It was valuable to me on my own journey. And I thought, gosh, I've got to give Sam an opportunity to share his experience and how he is really transforming himself and moving from where he was to where he wants to be. And I don't want to give you a spoiler alert, but I got to tell you where he wants to be and where he will be. I totally believe he will be there. Is absolutely fascinating. You're going to be inspired. So before we get into the episode and before I share the interview with you, I just want to make a couple of quick announcements, then we'll dive into it. With Christmas coming up, let me invite you to visit the Focus and Flow store at focusandflow.co. I know you have friends and family on your Christmas list, and I know you want to give them the very best gifts that they can use all year long to make them happy and, that they'll enjoy all of the things that you want from a gift. Check out the gifts at Focus and Flow, because every piece of, whether it's a product or a piece of apparel or accessory, is designed with one thing in mind and one thing only: to help you and the people on your Christmas list remember that you are a conscious creator, that you can be, do, or have whatever you want in life, that you can turn thoughts to things, and that what you focus on will expand into your experience, right? You can focus anything into being. This is the underlying message of the Focus and Flow store, and also the message of Abraham Hicks, one of my favorite group of teachers, that reminds us that we're conscious creators, that we have the ability to create whatever we want in this life, the experiences, the circumstances. We're always turning thoughts to things, and the only thing we have to do, the absolute only thing we have to do, is to harness that creative power and focus it where we want it to be, right? And not be haphazard with it, not be lazy with it, right? Those kind of things. So focusandflow.co for everyone on your Christmas list. I know you're going to find awesome stuff for them there: mugs and shirts and posters and hats, and I'm always adding things all the time on a continuous basis, so be sure to check back frequently. But again, focusandflow.co for all the people on your Christmas list. Also, if you haven't picked up Being Is Your Superpower, that's the free download at justbeatbook.com, go pick that up. It's free to download, and it's loaded with links and timestamps that will help you see how other people have embodied the qualities, characteristics, and attributes, and actually literally transform themselves so that they could attract what they want in life, whether it's lovers, whether it's business opportunities, right? Whether it's success. And that should inspire you to transform yourself so that you can attract what you want in life, right? I know you have goals and dreams. I know you want to have better experiences. I know you want to create all the awesome things that want to come through you. And what better way than to see what other creators have done and be inspired by them so that you can do that as well. That's at justbeatbook.com. It's the PDF, Being Is Your Superpower. It's free to download. While you're there, why not download the Human Beings Manifesto as well? That's also a one-page PDF that's free. So with that out of the way, let's jump into today's interview with Samuel Figueroa and hear him share his story. I know you're going to be captivated. By the way, if you'd like to see this interview, you can do that at my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/gmarkphillips. We filmed the interview, And you can check it out there if you like the video form. If not, just sit back and listen to the podcast. Either way, it's the same interview. I hope you enjoy it. I know I thoroughly did. Let's get into it. Hi there, I'm Mark Phillips. I'm here with Sam Figueroa. And Sam is one of my new friends. I was super inspired by his story. We met through our mutual friend, Ruth Romero, who is an amazing woman. And yes, I invited him to come on and talk about his experience and his journey thus far. Sam, thanks for hanging out with me.
Thank you, Mark. It's really a pleasure to be here with you and do this podcast that is going to be inspiring for a lot of people that are going through a lot of hardship in life, and and I want to inspire.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted you to come on and share your story. When we met, and you talked about how you were living in mediocrity, and you realized that, and your journey out of mediocrity, and you're moving to more better life, more success, more prosperity and abundance.
Of course.
I think it's fascinating because I don't know in my own experience or in other people that they had that realization. Like, I want to really understand how you had that realization. What were you doing at the time? What caused that?
A lot of things, I don't know why, there was this time that I was like, in this moment in my life, I was out in my porch looking outside, and I was like, is it? I mean, this is all? I mean, getting married, having kids, and is that going to work? Is that life? I was like, man, there's gotta be something else out there. I don't know, but I had that epiphany, or
epiphany.
Yes.
Were you reading any books at the time?
No.
Were you watching any inspirational videos? Did it just come out of nowhere? Because that's what I think is really fascinating. I think a lot of times in life we can get on a track and we don't know how much better it can be. We don't know that we're living in mediocrity or living less than we can. And because that's the first step, is to be aware. And that's what I think is fascinating about your story. Not everyone has that.
You're exactly right. I mean, I was like, what is going on? I mean, I think there's more to it. And I didn't even have any goals in life at that moment.
Nothing that you wanted. You were just on autopilot.
Yes. But I know I wanted something. I know I wanted to be financially free, because I couldn't give my family what I wanted them to have, like go to a restaurant, do not worry about money, and take them out. So I was like deep into work. I mean, like I used to work in picking apples, man. I used to work in a restaurant. So I go to my work like 6 a.m. in the morning, got off like around 4, and then went to the restaurant and started like around 5 p.m. I was doing it constantly, and I was like, man, there's gotta be something else out there, I couldn't explain that.
It just didn't feel right. It didn't feel like it was the path that could create the life that you wanted.
Yes. And I wanted more. I wanted to see if there's something else out there. And I was like, I'm talking about like 2009. It's like 10 years ago.
That's when you had that realization.
Yes. Yes. And it came to me since that moment. I mean, a lot of things happened to me in 2009. A lot of things changed since that moment. I mean, everything went downhill.
Really? Like in your life, like you had some negative experiences.
Yes.
What kind of things?
Well, first of all, I got separated. I got divorced from this relationship that I was into. So I lost my kids. my ex, in that point in life was my wife. And I was like, from that moment on, I mean, everything went downhill. Like, so I was deported to Mexico because I made a mistake.
At that time, shortly after that time.
Yeah. They deported me to Mexico because I was going through a lot of stress. So we got into a fight with my ex, and I hit her. I made that big mistake, but I don't regret it. You know, I used to regret it before.
You got past it.
Yes.
Yeah, we got to let go of those things because they'll hold us back, right?
Yes, and I was like, if that wouldn't happen, I wouldn't be here right now making this podcast with you.
Everything happens for a reason, doesn't it?
Yes. Yes, I'm not ashamed to tell you that. I mean, this is the first time I share with a friend.
Wow.
Yes, this is the first time I share this. I mean, you're the only one that I share this, and I want to be real. I don't want to be a fake. That's why I share.
Wow. So you had some of these negative experiences happen, but you see them now as stepping stones on your journey.
Of course, man. I mean, everything that bad that happens in life, I mean, is more beneficial than the good stuff.
I find that too. Yeah, from the bad or quote failure experiences, I learn the most.
Yes.
When things are good, you know, it's like there's not a lot of like learning in there because things are good.
Yes, and I was like, I just figured that out like 2 years ago. I mean, it hasn't been that long that I figured that out. I was like, well, I've been learning a lot more from the bad stuff than the good stuff. I mean, not a lot of people learn from their bad situations.
Sometimes, yeah, right. They just repeat that.
Yeah, they just make it bigger and bigger, like snowball. And I mean, you can see a person that has all that bad energy because they carry it in their mind, in their everyday life. And the way I see it is like, I'm not gonna carry that all my life. I mean, I'm just gonna put it in the bag and throw it out the window.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I see it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, when did you get on the path of, you know, reading all the books, and you've attended some personal growth, personal transformation seminars? You're just like kind of going for it, aren't you? Yes,
that's what I'm into right now. And I think it's been like 5 years already. But getting more into reading, it's been like a year. It's been a year or only that I've been getting into reading more. And I'm discovering all this stuff. I mean, all this knowledge, all this wisdom in the books.
What's changed? How has that helped you? I mean, what have you found, the nuggets, some of the best nuggets you've got, like ideas?
A lot, man. Like, I was reading Grant Cardone last night. I mean, 2 weeks ago. I mean, I've been reading Grant Cardone 2 weeks. And I mean,
he's good, isn't he?
Oh yeah,
that guy changed my whole way, the way I look at the world in a major way.
Oh yeah, have you read the 10X?
The 10X, yeah, and his Sell or Be Sold. You know, 10X changed the way I perceive the world, and this idea that you've got to do 10 times more than you think. Because I was kind of in the mindset of, okay, I'm going to do 1x and get 1x result, and it just doesn't work that way. And he kind of shifted my mindset. If you do 10x, you might get 1x result, right? It's like you're going to do 10 times more, be 10 times more focused. So he changed the way I look at everything.
Oh yes,
I didn't have that in my mind before. I didn't think about that.
You see?
You know, changed my perspective.
Oh yes, a lot. I mean, by reading that Grant Cardone book, I mean, it's opening my mind like you have no clue. I mean, I'm like getting in all this knowledge, I'm like, wow. I mean, all those things that you can accomplish if you only change your mindset, rewire your whole thinking, your perspective, all those things.
Yeah.
Man, the only thing I see right now, man, I see my future. I see my future in a better place than I am today. I see my future.
You're visualizing and
yes,
in that picture.
And I see my future talking to all these wealthy people.
Yeah, I got that sense when we first met. You have a lot of conviction and you have a lot of presence. And I know you're in Toastmasters. I know you're developing your public speaking skills. And I want to talk about like maybe what your future, if you have maybe designed or mapped out a future, if you would share with us, if you're wanting to do that, as far as where you think you want to be making an impact, what you want to be doing. But yes. I know I got that sense you have a lot of presence in you, because I thought you were already doing that when we were talking, right? You just have a very commanding presence when you speak. And I noticed that in Ruth when we were at Ruth's house.
You noticed that, huh?
Yeah, it comes across. And when I found out you're just kind of starting your journey, I was like, dude, if you're just starting, I cannot even imagine what it's going to be like when you have integrated all those tools you've already been building. I mean, it's just going to, you seem to have a natural presence, a natural commanding presence to you now. It's only going to get better. I see that.
When you mean commanding,
well, you speak very like deliberately, and your voice is very, it throws far, it impacts, it's impactful.
Okay.
I sense that.
You sense that. And not a lot of people sense that, like you're special too. Well, you're special too.
Thank you. Yeah, we all have our thing, don't we? We all have our gift, our genius.
Of course, man. I mean, a lot of people I can make a lot of people uncomfortable.
In what way? I can see what you're saying.
How I express myself, how I think. I mean, that's one of the things that I've been noticing that I make a lot of people uncomfortable.
Yeah, and we've talked a little bit about that. Maybe it makes them uncomfortable. They see you growing and becoming more successful and getting more on the path of success, and maybe they're not. Is that what you're referring to?
Kind of like, yes.
Kind of it shines the mirror on where they're at in their life,
yes.
And that makes people uncomfortable. Like, maybe I'm not doing as much as I could. Maybe I'm not, right?
Of course, yes. That's the one of the things I noticed, that a lot of people, they're just whining about their life, and trust me, I used to do that before. I was the one that was first in line. I used to complain a lot.
To complain and to
excuses. And I mean, to get rid of that mindset, it takes work. I mean, I'm still in that phase right now. I mean, it's like you're not gonna rewrite your whole software.
It takes time, because those patterns are deeply ingrooved. I feel the same way. There's patterns of like thinking and behavior, and it's so familiar to us until we kind of over time purge a little off, change habits, change the way we think, write the goals down we want, all those things. I totally get it.
Yes, and it's amazing how the mind works. And that's what I'm into right now, developing my mind to become more than I could ever imagine. I mean, we live in a energy world. Everything's energy. The whole universe, everything in our bodies, we're machines, it's magic.
It is magic, isn't
it? It is magic. Yeah. I mean, not a lot of people understand that, but I mean, the way that I see the world right now, by getting into all this wisdom, into books, looking at the stars, the universe, how they were born, looking back into history, how humans were came into the world. All those little things, man, makes you think, oh wow, man. I mean,
that's another thing. See, sometimes if people don't stop to think about how magical and divine and just off the charts that human beings are, that we are, it's easy to get into a rut of, oh, this is it's a limited mindset, limited capabilities. I don't have, but when we realize we have the whole knowledge and wisdom and power of the universe behind us. I love the quote by Emerson when he says, hey, once you decide, the whole universe conspires to help you make it happen, right? We don't, unless you think about that all the time, you forget about it because you think, oh, I'm disconnected. I'm just one being out here doing my thing with no support system, and I'm cut off, whatever. Life gets hard and challenging.
Oh, yes. I mean, it's like right now I was looking at the trees outside, the weather and the wind, how it flows through those leaves, I'm like, wow, man, this is paradise. This is paradise. But humans, us, we make it hell.
Right. Yeah, because we have that power. Our mind is so powerful, we can make heaven, what is supposed to be a heaven experience, right? We have all this ability to create, and we can make it hell by our own thinking. So true.
Yes, but I mean, not a lot of people notice that. I mean, we live in paradise.
We do.
We have all those things available for us. I mean, all these beautiful things like watermelon, a cantaloupe, or a cucumber. I mean, all these fruits, all these varieties.
Yeah.
All those little things that you think that they're not like important. But I mean, if you stop for a second and notice that, I mean, you will see that you live in paradise.
Right. Yeah, because it's all perspective, isn't it? One of the things I find really fascinating, even though we're all on one planet and we come from the same place, we're going to the same place, we all have vastly different experiences. And you got to ask yourself, why is that happening? Why is there a super rich, super healthy, successful person and someone who is not, like on the other end of the spectrum? Even though we're coming from the same place, living on the same planet, what's the difference? And I attribute it to like perspective and what you feel is possible, what you think is possible. I mean, how you look at the world, because some people don't see the world in that way. They see only a terrible place where bad things happen, where things don't work out.
Trust me, man.
You've been there. That's why I say you kind of transcended that.
Yes, I work. I am a maintenance guy right now for Cars Junior, and I see that my coworkers that they don't inspire to become more. I ask them, hey, what are your goals? Do you have any goals? And they're like, I mean, they don't, their goals, they're not that high. I mean,
right. If they haven't. And like you can probably relate. I mean, there was a time when I didn't have any goals, when I was on autopilot, just day by day by day by day, which was fine, but I was not doing what I came here to do, which push into the unknown and create stuff. And it sounds like you've been there too, where you're just on autopilot, no goals, no vision for your life. That's why I think it's really fascinating.
That is exactly right. I mean, I seen this co-workers, like they're like they whine about how much are they getting paid, but they don't change it. I mean, they don't do nothing to change that situation. I mean, right now, one of the things that I do is not to whine.
That's a big one, isn't it? Yeah, because it perpetuates this situation and gives energy to what maybe isn't working out the way you want, right?
Yeah, if things aren't working the way I want, it's because of me, not because of my surroundings. No, I'm not gonna blame anyone else but me. I am the one that could make this better.
I like that.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about the future? Would you have some vision, some goals, some
impact you want to make in the world? Have you got some design down? Would you be willing to share with us, or where are you at?
Where I'm at right now is my pursuit. I mean, my how do you say?
Like your passion or your purpose?
My passion, my purpose. And it's kind of funny because before I didn't used to have a passion. I didn't even understood that word passion.
Mm-hmm.
Not even mediocrity, procrastination, all these words. I mean, I didn't even have a clue. And if they came by, I didn't even bother of acknowledging them, you know, like trying to find out what is the meaning of that word. I mean, I was like, going through life like a zombie. I call this a zombie. I call a person a zombie when they don't have no dreams. They just go by their life. I mean, all their routines and all that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But I mean, it's like you're dead. I'm alive.
Mm-hmm. I call that drifting, because I've drifted for many. You go with the current. You like whatever prevailing winds are going to push you, unless you have your sails up and your engine on, going to your port, your destination you want. Yeah, I totally get that. I've drifted before, where it's just like, oh, I'm at the mercy of my country or my employer or my city, whatever. They're gonna dictate how my life's gonna play out.
Yes.
I don't have any goal.
Yes, and I mean, I used to be like that. I mean, but I'm not anymore. I mean, I know passion is something. I mean, it's a burning desire, man. It's like you walk into a building in fire and you don't get burnt because you're already on fire.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's
you wake
that's
up excited. You just go to every day. You're excited. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I feel like I don't want to do nothing, but sometimes I'm like, I gotta commit, man. I gotta do this. Mm-hmm. Why? Because I want to inspire. I want to, and I didn't even thought about writing a book, but I thought about it.
Yeah, you need to, because your story is really, really inspiring, and I know that it can wake up a lot of people. Like, because some people may not know they're in that experience yet. You know, some people may not know how good life could get. All right, that they're living in that mediocrity. That's why I wanted you to, share it. I think it's been awesome, Sam.
Well, that's an awesome experience for me, because I mean, meeting you, and I've been meeting a lot of people.
I know you have.
I've been meeting a lot of people that are in the same frequency as me. Like they're once you're in the same frequency, you guys connect.
Yeah, isn't that fascinating? How when you start to change what you're focusing on in life, you meet people in that same area of life. Yeah.
Yes, and I mean, it's not everybody. I mean, it's like me. Like, I noticed that when I start talking to someone about all that stuff that I'm into, I'm not afraid to share my ideas. I'm not afraid. People are afraid.
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah, they're sometimes afraid of sharing their dreams, their goals. I'm not afraid. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I'll share it with you. I mean, it could get me into trouble. I mean, with someone that wants to take advantage of you.
Right, or maybe make, like you said, some people uncomfortable, but that's the price you got to pay, right?
I'm not afraid. I mean, if people want to take advantage of me, well, I'm gonna learn from that mistake, Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna share because I don't want to hold back anything.
Yeah, that's what I think is really cool. Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like you're gonna make them uncomfortable by sharing all those stuff because they don't see themselves like, what am I doing, or like, they probably take it the wrong way, or
right. Well, and one of the things that I have studied a lot in my work and in my journey is this idea of changing our self-concept and changing like who we are when you show up in the world, and that's your story of transformation and how you were like a different person, living in mediocrity, not having any goals, and now you're this person now. That changes your family dynamics, your friend dynamics, because we fit in a spot in people's lives, and when we change who we are, we don't fit that spot anymore.
Of course.
And when you don't fit the spot with your friends and family, they have a choice. They can either accept the new you and like integrate it in, or resist it and become uncomfortable or not like it or whatever. It doesn't always have to be a separation. But when you change, especially radically, oftentimes friendships change and family situations change, work situations. I mean, it's just the way that it is, And
let me tell you something, man. I know I'm changing. Because of many reasons. Like with my family right now, I mean, like, I know they're like, because I post anything I think, anything that comes into my mind, I just go to Facebook. Boom. I've been doing that 2 to 3 weeks ago. Since three weeks ago, I've been doing that. Whatever comes into my mind, I'm gonna share it. Boom. Even though if they don't like it, if they like it or not, I don't care. I mean, that's the way I think, and that's the way. Why I do that is because of me. I want to see all my changes. I want to see when I'm in the top. I want to see how I started, all the things I did. To since all that stuff. I mean, and a lot of my friends that I had, I mean, they're not in my circle no more. Why? Because we share a different mindset.
Yeah.
Like you were saying.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not in the same mindset anymore. I mean, lions and eagles fly alone.
Yeah. It's, I've heard that from so many successful people the more successful you get, it's like a solo journey. I mean, because I look at it this way, we're all on our individual journey in life, and the people in our family or friends, they're not meant to go on our journey. They have their own, it's like the hero's journey, right? The hero goes alone. He gets assistance. He or she gets assistance at times, but no one's meant to go on our journey with us. So I totally have seen that in successful people. I feel that in my own journey, like this, it's an individual path we're all walking.
And let me tell you about successful people. I mean, like, I was listening to this, Jim Brown, to one of his videos that he made. And one of the things he said, it was that if you want to be successful in life, study success. If you want to be happy, study happiness.
I love that.
If you want to be a lawyer, study law. All those things. So I was like, well, I want to be successful. What do I have to do? Study successful people.
Yeah. So true.
That's what I'm doing right now, studying successful people. And I've been studying them, and I see all the hurdles that they go through life and how they started. I mean, Oprah Winfrey started from the bottom. Elon Musk, my hero, he started from the bottom too. I mean, these guys are high performance. That's what I want to. That's what I'm going to become, a high performance person.
I love that. It's awesome. Well, Sam, I really appreciate hanging out with me today. This has been super inspiring, and I know it's going to inspire a lot of people too.
I know. That's one of my goals in life, to inspire. My purpose, to inspire and create a lot of wealth. This is one of my main things, to create a lot of wealth, to share it with the whole world. Because I live in a state of abundance right now, not in a state of scarcity like before. I used to live in a state of scarcity that if I do you a favor, I was expecting something back from you. That's what I say about scarcity.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, I'll do whatever you want, man. Without expecting something in return.
That's awesome. I've been in that situation too, where you're just giving unconditionally, and because it fills your cup up, and it's exceptionally beneficial for us,
of course,
as the giver.
And I mean, if you share, I mean, if you collaborate with others, I mean, you can gain more than just expecting something in return, like whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's how I see myself right now. And since I started living in a state of abundance, man, I see a lot of opportunities. I see.
Isn't that fascinating? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. They're always out there.
Yes.
Like you can't see them if you're not in that mindset, right?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's like Grant Cardone. I was watching a video like a few minutes ago, and he was saying, I mean, all I see is money everywhere.
Yeah.
All I see is opportunities, because he's in a state of abundance. He doesn't have a scarcity mindset. That's how I see him. I mean, this guy is crazy.
Yeah, he is, and that's another thing. You know, all of his companies and all of his wealth that he's creating and helping other people create wealth and shifting the way they see the world. See, he all pulled that out of nothing. Those things did not exist, but he made them exist in his mind first, and then created them in the world to help people become wealthy. And that's why he's himself becoming more wealthy.
And the funny thing is that I don't know about you, but my mind is thinking like, oh, that's not true. I mean, he just saying that to sell. Or, I mean, that's what my
part of that limiting thinking that you're purging out. Yeah, I'm like that too. Yeah,
you're like that
because
too,
there's
huh?
a little bit of skepticism, because if you didn't come from that, if you weren't raised in that type of mindset, again, it sometimes takes a constant tending to maintain that mindset of abundance. Otherwise, because I believe that if we don't tend to our mental garden, it grows weeds and it becomes dilapidated. We have to constantly repair it, water it, put nutrients in the soil. It's like a daily thing. Otherwise, because it tends towards chaos, and you tend toward that. Predominantly, there's a scarcity and a kind of a poverty consciousness in the world. That's why only 5% are successful, 1% are super successful. The majority of people, I think, they live in the middle part and or the lower part. And I think it takes tending, just like it takes tending to our body to keep our body in shape, it takes tending to our mind to keep our mind in shape. So I totally get that sometimes we can slip back in if we're not constantly reminding ourselves we live in an abundant universe. There is no scarcity. There's only opportunity.
Oh yes, I mean, it's like before I used to wait 300 pounds.
Did you really?
Yes, 300 pounds.
What do you weigh now?
I'm 221.
300. So you were big.
Oh yes, man. You would
not all muscle, I'm assuming, just big.
No, really big. I mean, you could have seen you would have seen my cheeks. They were like big.
300 pounds.
300 pounds. Yes, and that happened when I was married. I was really stressed.
Not taking care of yourself.
Yes, and it caused a lot of anxiety. All that stuff. I mean, all that bad stuff. I mean, and right now that I'm going through all this, one of the main thing is health. I mean, if you want to help a lot of people, if you want to gain wealth, you need to be healthy.
It's true. Yeah.
You need to have a wealthy mind too. I mean, like a healthy mind.
Yeah, it's all connected, isn't it?
Yes, everything's connected.
Energy in our body. I think about that a lot too. If we don't have the energy or feel good, we can't produce. We can't do our work in the world.
Yes, and a lot of people, what you have in your mind, you projected it into your body. It's a reflection right there.
Yeah.
Whatever you have here in your mind, you're going to reflect it with your body.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
And it makes a lot of sense.
Everything.
Yes, it makes a lot of sense, but not a lot of people understand that. that is one of the things that I thought, like I heard it from, I don't remember where I heard it, but it makes a lot of sense.
It does, absolutely.
It makes a lot of sense. And I mean, all these things that I've been through in life, it's an experience that I'm not gonna forget, because I mean, it's the bad things. Like I say, I mean, I've been learning more from the bad things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
definitely.
They make a bigger impact in our lives, don't they?
Yes, and I used to regret a lot of things, but now I'm like, no.
Yeah, it all goes in the bucket. It's all part of who we are now.
Yes, and I'm like, yes, I'm gonna make it rememberable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm forgiven,
Yeah.
so that way a lot of people can look and see into their lives. That's what I want to accomplish. That is my purpose in life, and I have a lot of big goals in life.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I share this, I'm a trillionaire.
Mm-hmm.
I say I'm a trillionaire.
Yeah.
And everybody is a trillionaire.
Yeah.
But we just don't see it.
True.
If you have your legs, if you have your hands and your mentality, you have everything. There's no excuses.
Wow.
You have everything. I'm already am a trillionaire.
Yeah. It's awesome, Sam. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And I look forward to following your journey and seeing what you're building.
Of course, Mark. I believe one day I'm gonna be wealthy.
I do too.
I believe that.
Yeah.
And it's all about believing.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe there's big walls, but that is not gonna stop me.
No.
That is not gonna stop me. I'm willing to die for my dreams.
Yeah. And that's conviction that
yes.
Once that conviction is there, nothing can hold you back.
Yes, nobody. I'm willing to die. I already did it once. Mm-hmm. I put everything online. I was like, I'm gonna go for it. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna share this in the future with you.
I know you will.
I'm gonna share this with you.
Yeah, we'll look back on this.
Yes, we're gonna look back into this, and this moment is gonna be special right now. Yeah. It's gonna be in history. This moment, I believe that.
I do too.
That's why I'm doing this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I was excited.
Yeah, Sam, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with me. I have thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thank you, Mark. I mean, I'm really grateful, and even though it's a little noisy, but I mean, we just no excuses. That's what it's all about, man.
Absolutely.
No excuses, and 10x.
Yeah,
that's all.
You know it.
10x. Well, there it is, Mark.
Awesome. I love it.
Thank you, man.
You're welcome.
Well, what'd you think? Isn't that awesome? Can you see the presence, and can you feel and hear the presence in Sam's voice and the conviction? And I'm sure you came away with the same conclusion that I had, that I have no doubt he's going to go on to create amazing things. And I'm going to be watching the journey and hopefully be able to hook up with him when he has created some of the things that he's working on right now. And we can look back and reflect and talk about the experience from this point until that point, right? Because all it is a continuous journey of creation, isn't it, for all of us? And that's what I find is fascinating, is to check in with people from time to time as they're in their journey of creation to see what lessons they've learned, right? And we can talk about best practices, and we can share what worked and what hasn't. And that way we can go further faster, and we can all level up our experience based on learning from one another, coming together and sharing these best practices for living. So I'm really excited. I want to thank Sam. Sam, thank you so much for joining me on this episode and sharing your experience. I really do appreciate it. And remember, you can always find all of these interviews and every episode of Enhancing the Human Experience as well as On the Go. That's my car vlog video style series. You can find all those pieces of content on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/gmarkphillips. As you know, I've been putting a lot of effort and emphasis on video format, video content, and you'll find all that at youtube.com/gmarkphillips. Also, lots of good things and lots of awesome things coming down the line. I'm building a set so I can film YouTube videos and YouTube live series, and really putting a lot of emphasis on YouTube, getting way outside of my comfort zone and embracing video in a real way, in a real big way. So be sure to subscribe. Also, last but not least, if this inspired you, which I'm sure it did, leave a comment beneath the video on youtube.com/gmarkphillips, episode 134. Leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts, your experiences, how you were inspired. If you want to share what you're creating, please do that. That's a great platform to do that. Again, it inspires other people. It inspires me. And when you share and put your what you want to create out there to the world, and it kind of solidifies it. I know that when I'm getting close to something that I want to create, when I've got it almost done and I need that extra push, right? I definitely share it with my audience, and it kind of holds me accountable. Now, having said that, there's an incubation period, and I know people fall into two different types of camps in this for this type of idea. If you don't feel comfortable sharing, don't share. You do not have to share. You can keep it close to the vest until it's ready to kind of hatch or ready to come into the world or emerge. That's totally fine. But if you want to share, if you're ready to make us, put it out there and get some accountability, for sure, share. Leave a comment beneath the video at youtube.com/gmarkphillips. And again, I want to thank you for listening. I really do appreciate it. I know there are so many podcasts out there, and I love the fact you're listening to this one. So until next time, I wish you all the best, health, wealth, and success. Bye-bye.